Now here on Granada, tonight's roundup of today's news from around our region.
Good evening. A coroner in Greater Manchester has ruled that another of Harold Shipman's former patients was unlawfully killed. Today's inquest on Alice Kitchen was the second in a series of hearings on suspected victims of the former High GP. Emma Murphy reports.
Alice Kitchen was a reasonably healthy 70-year-old when she died in 1994. The patient of former GP and serial killer Harold Shipman was found at home by her son with a note from the doctor stating he believed she'd suffered a stroke but had been unable to persuade her to seek further medical help. On finding her body, the family phoned for an ambulance and informed the police of her sudden death. Dr. Shipman, however, cancelled the police, claiming they weren't necessary, as he'd seen her just hours before death. He also said it was a blessing that she died from a heart attack, because the stroke would have left her paralysed with a speech problem. The family contacted police when the Shipman investigation began. They'd always had concerns about their mother's death. After today's verdict of unlawful killing, they issued a statement through their solicitor.
They are deeply shocked at their mother's sudden death back in June of 1994. On that day, they thanked Dr. Shipman, and they had no doubt that their mother was also smiling and thanking him too. However, today's verdict has confirmed the suspicions they held from the very outset.
24 other inquests into suspected victims are due to be held over the next few months.
The family of a man who was beaten and stabbed to death in Greater Manchester have made a plea for information. 20-year-old Matthew Connolly was attacked by a gang of 7 men at his home in Moston on Saturday night. He died on the way to hospital. His family say there's no reason why Mr. Connolly should have been targeted. They believe that he may have been the victim of mistaken identity.
My nephew died for no reason. And that's why, people around here, somebody must have seen something. Just please come forward and just help the police.
A 24-year-old man from Merseyside has been jailed for 18 months for breaking Robbie Fowler's nose. The Liverpool and England striker was punched at a hotel in the city in April of last year. Paul Noon, who's from Everton, had admitted unlawfully wounding Fowler and a drugs charge. The judge at Liverpool Crown Court said it was a serious and unprovoked attack, which was no fault of Fowler's. Police in Cheshire are hunting a man they believe has carried out a string of raids on banks and building societies over the past 3 years. The robber is thought to have struck 13 times, as Rob Wincheffel reports.
At this raid at the Royal Bank of Scotland in Congleton, the man calmly queues, and when he reaches the counter, he points to a gun in his plastic bag and demands cash before strolling out. Police fear the calmness of the raid may eventually lead to violence.
This is obviously a very dangerous individual, and this is why we want to catch him. You can't rule out the possibility that should somebody get in his way or somebody not comply with his request, that he could turn violent.
Police believe the man has committed 13 similar robberies dating back 3 years across the North West and the Midlands, and feel there may be a link to the dates.
It may well be the amount of money that he's stolen. He may feel he doesn't need to do an offence for a couple of months. It might well be that he's in hospital, or maybe he's working away. Is he in prison?
The man is described as being in his early 50s, 5 foot tall with stocky build. He has a round face with dark greying hair. There is an offer of a £15,000 reward, and anyone with any information should contact Cheshire Police on 01244 614 234.
Lawyers for David and Victoria Beckham have been at the High Court today trying to block publication of a book about them. The couple claim that former Minder Mark Niblett broke a confidentiality agreement when he passed information to author Andrew Morton. But Mr. Morton claims that the material had already been made public. The case continues tomorrow. Finally, holidaymakers in a North Wales resort could scarcely believe their eyes when a tornado appeared off the coast. The 200-foot twister amazed visitors in Llandudno as it developed from dark clouds hovering over the sea. When it reached the mainland, it broke, bringing nothing more than a heavy downpour. Experts say it reflects the freak weather seen across the country over the bank holiday. And that's all from the newsroom today. Our next bulletin is at 6:10 tomorrow morning in GMTV from the Lake team. Good night.
Granada weather.
Well, once again, we've seen a fair few showers across our region this afternoon and this evening. Now, much like yesterday, the showers will tend to die away fairly readily over the next few hours, so it should become dry. We'll find some long clear spells at first, but it will become quite misty, and there's still the chance of a few shallow fog patches by first thing, especially, say, in low-lying areas. Temperatures tonight falling no lower than 8 Celsius, winds remaining very light and from the east. Tomorrow, well, it's another misty start to the day, but it should be a dry one. The mist and any shallow fog patches will tend to burn away fairly readily, with plenty of sunshine coming through, so not feeling too bad at all in the afternoon. Winds remaining very light and generally from the west, temperatures up to 20 Celsius. A quick look at the details for Thursday. It's clouding over with outbreaks of rain to come later.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update on 09068 559977.